What is going down? Dude, I'm super pumped for today's episode.
I know it's going to be a good one.
Again, welcome to the Fitness Business Life podcast. Today, me and Stevo, the Terminator Clark, what are we going to be talking about, mate?
We're going to be talking about the one, the only Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I've been looking forward to this episode since I came back from Santa Monica, because I'm just down to tell this story again. I'm going to go through it again if you don't mind. I know you've heard it.
Work away.
I know you've heard it I don't know how many times, but look, today's episode is dedicated to none other than Arnold Schwarzenegger, and this guy, anyone who has anything to do with physical culture or going to the gym or grew up in the 80s, you know Arnold Schwarzenegger. They're watching him on TV or whatever, right? Now, I was on a business trip in LA a couple of weeks ago. It was a couple of weeks ago now, yeah?
2-3 weeks ago.
And of course, being in Santa Monica, I'm down to visit Venice Beach and just seeing some of the sites, and decided, of course, because I was there, I gotta go and visit Gold's Gym, the mecca of bodybuilding. And from I was a very young child, I was my uncle Ed. He used to he was big into bodybuilding in the late 80s, and obviously I was growing up in the 80s, so he still lived in my granny's house at the time, and I used to pick up all of his magazines, and I would have been looking through all these magazines, and kind of what initially ignited my interest in training. Seeing Arnold and Lou Ferrigno and watching these guys on TV, and just seeing how these people trained on Muscle Beach and all of this stuff. And I remember looking at this place and always wanting to visit it. And of course, being in LA, staying in Santa Monica, it was walking distance. But the morning that I decided to go, I was like, you know what, I'll get an Uber, because I was flying out that afternoon. So I ordered an Uber, and I wanted to get down there as quickly as I could, because I wanted to spend most of the day at Gold's Gym and go down on the Venice Beach and then Muscle Beach. And so I'm in the Uber, and the Uber driver, he picks me up, and we're sitting chatting. And he asked me what I'm doing there, and I say, I'm on business. What are you doing? I'm like, I own a gym and I own an academy, and I've just always wanted to visit Gold's Gym. So he started talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger. He started talking about Franco Columbu, Lou Ferrigno, and all these guys that all trained at Gold's Gym. And we're just sitting having a chat about how amazing these dudes were. And out of the corner of my eye, no shit, I will never forget this to the day I die. Arnold Schwarzenegger flew past us on a mountain bike, right? And
that's a sentence in itself, isn't it?
I know, dude, and I got it on video. For anyone that doesn't believe me, I had this on video. He flew past us on a mountain bike, and I stopped, because I almost thought I was in a film. You remember the film we done, The Last Action Hero? Right?
I haven't seen that.
No, dude, right? The Last Action Hero, right? The kid ends up in a film with Arnold Schwarzenegger,
right?
It's surreal, and I was like, is this an episode? Is this the Last Action Hero? What is going on here? Am I seeing things? So the taxi driver's talking to me about Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I had to stop him and say, dude, I think Arnold Schwarzenegger just flew past us on a bike. And he just started, he kind of started laughing, and I was like, no shitting, genuinely, I think Arnold Schwarzenegger just flew past us on a bike. No, in fact, there he is there. So I pointed directly at him, and he was just ahead of us in traffic. And the dude he just bust out laughing, and he was like, holy shit. So we flew up past Arnold, and then Arnold flew past us. And I was like, dude, he's going to Gold's Gym, guaranteed. This is the way we're going. He's going this way. So I was like, holy shit. As we pulled into Gold's Gym, there's an entrance for the car, and then there's a footway entrance, and Arnold comes in the footway entrance and basically parked the bike right in front of me. And I'm like, holy shit, what is going on? And he walked into Gold's Gym right in front of me, 2 foot away, he, as if you're walking into the gym. The person walks in, and I'm like, that's Arnold Schwarzenegger walking into the gym right in front of me. Got in there, and I got chatting to, he kind of disappeared for a second, which I thought he'll probably disappear into a wee room by himself. And do his own thing, and no one's going to see him. But he disappeared for a couple of seconds, and I was like, shit, my day was made anyway, right? My life was made. I had just seen him. But as I'm getting signed into Gold's Gym, the girl who owned the place, lovely girl, I ended up getting chatting with her, and we're starting having the conversation. And as I'm getting signed in, and she knew some big actors and stuff from Belfast, and that's how we kind of hit things off. And as I'm starting having a chat with her, Arnold Schwarzenegger come over and interrupted our conversation and gave her a hug. So he just basically, she was starting talking to me, and he just basically grabbed her by the shoulders, turned around, and started giving her a hug. So I was kind of like just standing there,
just watching.
Right, okay, what, like,
not put your arms out.
I felt like, reaching over and saying, "Here, can I get in on this?" So, it was just surreal. And he walked away, and he went and done a session on the gym floor. Like he was, I mean, obviously, he's in his 70s now. He's kind of just keeping himself ticking over. And I said, as soon as she turned back around, she just basically continued the conversation where it left off. And I was like, whoa, hold on a second. That was Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah. And I'm like, that was Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, and she was like, yeah, he'll stay. And he'd get some photos and stuff after he does his workout. To me, that was like, code for leave him alone. Let him do his workout. Don't be annoying him. And do you know what? The amazing thing was no one annoyed him. Like, no one bothered him. No one went near him. Everyone just let him get on with things. And being in the place, like, old school bodybuilders everywhere, new guys that were just huge, ridiculous. And I was like, right, you've watched Pump and Iron. Everyone, if you haven't watched Pump and Iron, go and watch Pump and Iron, right? There's a calf raise machine. There's a donkey calf raise machine in Pump and Iron. It is still in Gold's Gym, and Arnold is still using it today.
No way.
Yeah, 100%. He is still using that same donkey calf raise machine today in the same way. And I had to like pinch myself to go, what is, like, this is surreal. But anyway, I was like, right, I'm going to do the most impressive thing that I can do in this gym, which is weighted chin-ups. And I just got a shitload of weight on it, put it on the chain, and Arnold's doing calf raise. There's some big dude bodybuilder doing deadlifts beside me, which I wanted to correct at home, by the way. Arnold's doing like donkey calf raises about 5 feet from me, so I'm like, right, I'm doing the most impressive thing I can do, which is weighted chin-ups. And Arnold was kind of just walking around everyone, just getting everyone hugs and high fives, and I got a shitload of weight on the chain and started doing weighted chins. And Arnold walked by like the Terminator. He walks like the Terminator, like legit. And he just gave me a wee nod of approval, and then he just went on about his business. And I got an amazing photo afterwards, dude.
Damn, mate.
Man.
Life, mate.
So, I mean, it was a bit of a long story, but one that I'll be telling my grandchildren.
Yeah.
Like I train 5 feet from Arnold Schwarzenegger, which not a lot of people. Well, I suppose a lot of people in Gold's Gym can say they've done it, but not a lot of people where we're from, and especially if you grew up watching his films.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I suppose like your grandkids will know who he is. It doesn't matter if you grew up in the 80s or whatever, everyone's going to know who Arnold Schwarzenegger is.
It's so good. And I mean, listen, today's episode is dedicated to Arnold Schwarzenegger, because let's face it, he has achieved a lot in his life. Fitness, business. Jesus, the man has lived a life like.
Yeah, anything. It's almost like anything that he set his mind to, he's done it. And it's unbelievable the kind of like work ethic that goes on behind it whenever you listen to him talking and stuff.
Yeah.
Like there's plenty of videos out there of things that that he said he was going to do and how he went about doing it and putting the hard work in and stuff, and it's obviously paid off. Like everyone on the planet knows him.
Well, I mean, you're going to talk about some stuff that that inspired you, well, and me as well, and that the listeners today can take from, because like, I mean, the guy barely spoke any English, and he moved to LA with the American dream. Brought his friend Franco Colombo with him. Them two struck up a partnership. The taxi driver that I was actually talking to in the Uber was telling me that one thing that they actually done, and they gave a lifetime guarantee. So they ended up in construction together, amongst other things, construction, acting, bodybuilding, like on the body, like there was loads of things that they were doing. And Arnold was taking lessons in English to become a better actor, and Yes,
accent removal classes and stuff. He was taking those.
Like, he gave a lifetime guarantee to the people who they done the construction for. And we were kind of laughing about this last week because, you know, before he became a big time actor and stuff like that, he still stood by his lifetime guarantee. So if something went wrong with one of the, you know, the houses or the walls or whatever they built, him and Franco Colombo would show up and they would fix whatever was going wrong, or have someone else do it. So because they give a lifetime guarantee on it, and that's why the construction thing really took off. And Franco Colombo actually stayed in construction.
Right, that's what he continued
to do that.
Wow.
Real estate later on as well.
That's class. I mean, imagine coming around and saying Arnold Schwarzenegger fixing your sink or something.
Well, for me, it's not that's lower end. That's lower end. You wanna talk a wee bit about Arnold's rules?
Yes. So there's a load of videos going about YouTube and social media and stuff. You've probably seen them before, and it's basically rules to success according to Arnold Schwarzenegger. And it kind of doesn't really matter what line of work that he's in, whether it's the bodybuilding, whether it's the fact that he went into politics or movies or anything. Like, the guy literally has done nearly everything you can imagine. But these are the kind of basics that he stands by. I'm going to go through them. I've got the list sitting here. The first one that he says is find a vision and don't drift. So it's kind of along the same idea of, you know, if you don't have a goal or a destination that you want to get to, then any path will bring you there, because you're not going anywhere anyway. He talks about, you know, being young and wanting to get into bodybuilding, and everyone saying to him, you know, bodybuilding's an American thing, and he goes, well, gotta get to America then, don't you? And then making it happen. That was his vision. It was, I can't remember the name of the guy, but it was a British bodybuilder who won loads of different titles and ended up being Hercules in the movies.
Yes, I know good. God, I'll get his name by the end of the episode.
Can't remember his name right now, but basically Arnold Schwarzenegger wanted to be him, and that was his dream. And so his vision was to get out of whatever the hell it was that he was doing at the time, when he was maybe like 16, 18, something like that. Yeah,
he was actually Olympic lifting. Yeah, well. He was powerlifting and he was pretty good at both.
And he clearly had a talent for the gym and lifting weights and a good physique to go along with it. So then, you know, going to America, doing whatever it was that he had to do to, you know, fulfill his vision of being a top bodybuilder, becoming an actor, and then being in the movies.
Like he's not just saying that, and he's like, he's not just giving that advice. He walks the talk, because literally, like, he just went and barely spoke English, and he ended up the fucking governor of California. no background in politics, barely any English. He was a bodybuilder, and he ended up and turned actor. And he ended up the governor of California. What the fuck is that even?
It's crazy, and almost like the politics thing. You wonder if that was in the background somewhere. It must have come along the way, but like, even just saying, I'm going to leave this country. Back then, I was crazy, you know, to go from where Austria, Germany, over to America. Like, that's even in itself, that's a big deal.
Without actually taking over the state.
Yeah, and especially whenever there wasn't much bodybuilding going on where he was from at the time, and it was an American dominant kind of sport. And
how popularized it then became after he...
Yeah, he was basically the if you want to call it, the poster boy for it. Like, he led the way for it. Eventually. So he talks about finding the vision and, you know, finding your path and working towards it. And basically it just means pick something and achieve it.
Stick to one thing until you've conquered it.
Yeah, that's it.
Essentially. What's the next thing he spoke about?
Next one kind of goes hand in hand. Don't think small.
Love it.
So obviously the dream that you have shouldn't be something that you should be, you know, comfortable with. You want to be pushing your boundaries. Again, moving over to America, taking over a sport basically that was ran and you know, very, very American, and coming over as a foreigner, very little, you know, the accent was holding him back, all these kinds of things, but not having something that you're just happy with. You know, constantly trying to improve and trying to do better, and to become the best at what it is. He says that You know, he didn't just want to be in movies. He wanted to be a movie star. He wanted to be the name in lights. He wanted to be the big personality. And, you know, it goes alongside with his bodybuilding. He was the personality in bodybuilding. If you haven't watched Pumping Iron, again, go watch Pumping Iron. I guarantee you it's a laugh a minute. It's not just all about biceps and pecs and abs in the ring. The guy is hilarious, and he was a massive character even back then.
Yeah, it just seemed like he had no fear to do anything. And I'm actually glad you brought that last point up. I was doing a bit of writing about this today. It was a quote that I heard just the other day. If you put a shark in a fish tank, it will grow to 8 inches. But if you put it in the open ocean, it will grow to 8 feet.
Right.
So very much so, like Arnold's rule, if you set yourself in a small environment and you're thinking small, well, essentially that's the way you're going to stay. Mm-hmm. If there was ever a poster boy as an example of thinking big, it's got to be Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah,
like, holy shit.
And it's probably along the lines as well, like where we're from, it's a very small part of the world and stuff. So thinking small is like achievable almost. Do you know what I mean? It's like the norm almost.
Yeah.
You go to America and even you walk into a fucking restaurant and it's like massive and everything. So like it's almost like, you know, coming over there, like to fit in, you have to be big and you have to be thinking big and like adapting to your surroundings basically. Yeah. There's so many characters, but especially in a place like Gold's Gym, and like you've trained there, you see the people who are just training next to you and stuff, big dudes, strong dudes. You got to have a way of standing out and being that bigger character in the room.
Yeah, of course, man. Well,
the next one, ignore the naysayers. So this is kind of good. Like we've talked quite a lot about, you know, like haters and stuff on social media and people giving you shit. Arnold talks about, you know, already done the bodybuilding thing, well done, put that in the past. And then he says, right, I want to be in the movies. And he says all the agents that he went to see basically laughed at him and said, what? Okay, let's first of all start with your accent. It's ridiculous. You know, you've never heard of a leading guy being from Germany. You know what I mean? It's always, you know,
he's
the American. The villain. Yeah. And he says, and then look at your body. Your body is massive. Yeah. Like, there's only so much we can do with you. You have to be a bad guy if you're going to be a big dude.
Yeah.
And then he said, your name. You know, people are going to rush to the cinema to see, what is it, Arnold Schwarzenegger or right? You know what I mean? So like, even though he had all that past in bodybuilding and achieved unbelievable, what is it, 7 Mr. Olympias?
I think it was 8 actually. Was it 8? I think it was 9. Well, 7 or 8.
Yeah, 7 or 8. But like, they have already achieved so much, and then they continue to be brought down basically on a new thing that he wanted to do. Yeah. He's already shown the, you know, determination to work and the work ethic behind what he wants, and to still be faced with that. Wow, you can't do that. What are you talking about? No, you serious? You're massive, and you can't say your name. You can't even say your own name properly, and all these kinds of things. And it's just like, don't worry, I'm going to do it. Don't worry, I'm going to do it. So he goes and takes acting classes, and he takes, the accent removal classes, and all these kinds of things to help him go forward, and just blocks out what everyone else is going to say, and he just does it because that's what he has in his head. And obviously, when he has something in mind, he's going to go for it.
Absolutely, man.
And it can be related to, you know, the people who put bad comments or whatever, you know, give you shit on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, and you're just like, you know, all right, if you want to, you can use it as a little bit of feedback, but don't be taking it to heart too much. You gotta just keep doing your own thing. If it's what's going on in your head and it's what you want, you just gotta keep going forward with it.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely walks the talk on that one. I mean, he got involved in a lot of sort of, what would you call it? You know, in his political career. So obviously, a lot of people were giving him abuse. He had kids on the side. He had a lot of stuff. And he had a lot of skeletons in the closet, which basically came out and his political opponents were trying to use against him. Yeah. And he still got on with it.
Yeah.
He's just like...
But the thing is as well, like, I completely forgot about that, to be fair. Do you know what I mean? Like, so at the time, you're like, oh shit, this is all coming out. He's never going to get it now. He's been there, done that, and everyone's forgotten about all the stuff that his haters dug up on him.
And everyone just loves him.
And no one gives a shit.
No one cares.
So if you want to look at it, such a big personality, big star, leading a city or whatever. To have all this stuff brought to light and out in public and stuff, like a lot of our lives aren't public. You know what I mean? The stuff you put on social media is, like we said before, like a highlight or something that you want to promote, or these kinds of things. Your like private life is never really put out there. And for him to have such a big aspiration, such a big goal at such high stakes, and having his personal life dragged out into it to achieve it on top of all those things, and then for everyone to kind of almost forget about it afterwards. You're just like, what is the worst that can happen if someone says your deadlift form looks a wee bit shit?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Of course. Like, you gotta take inspiration from that shit. Like, if you're sitting on the fence about doing something, just think about that.
Yeah.
Think about that man's character and what he was dragged through, essentially, because it is his private life. Okay, he puts himself in the spotlight, and I would say, you know, he's probably just like, well, I would say his attitude is, I'm in this position and I gotta take whatever shots come at me.
Yeah, it comes with it. Yeah, absolutely. So the next one, work your ass off.
I love this.
Work your ass off. So yeah, like if you go back to what we're talking about, not thinking small, you know, if you're thinking, you know, small and comfortable and stuff, you still got to work hard to even make that work out for you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of time and effort that goes into that. But if you're thinking big, you got to be thinking big and working hard. And he talks about, you know, basically what his day would look like. You know, he was saying that at a point he was training about 4 or 5 hours a day in the gym, then going across, and he was going to university or college or whatever. You were saying about his construction business with, was it Franco? Yeah. On top of that, he had posing lessons for his bodybuilding career. He had acting lessons for a future career that he was already thinking about, and then his accent removal classes. And you're just like, it's dead funny. He says, people say, oh, I don't have the time, you know, I need to get 8 hours sleep and stuff. And he's like, sleep faster. I love it. It's so good. He goes, I don't do well with such little sleep, but I just say, sleep faster.
That's the attitude.
Absolutely. If you want something bad enough, you'll make the time for it. You won't try and find the time for it.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. It's how you use them. You know, people, you know, sitting saying, no, I don't have time for the gym for kids and working out there. And sometimes that is a reasonable excuse and stuff. But know everything that is going on with Game of Thrones, or know everything that's going on in the latest Netflix series or whatever.
If you really want to get it done, you'll find a way.
Yeah.
You'll find a way. Like, just to give you an example, Katrina has been down working in the gym in the mornings. So there was, I now enjoy just training in the mornings, getting it over and done with, because my days are like flat out. So I was kind of thinking about this, and last week I missed a couple of sessions. So I was like, right, what do I got to do to get these couple of sessions in? I got to get up at 4 a.m. now instead of 5 a.m. So I get up at 4 a.m., get my session done at 5, and then I'm home for 6 to let her go and do her thing.
Do the training, yeah.
You'll find a way.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's about like your priority. So obviously training's a big deal for you.
Yeah.
It's a thing, not even just physically, but for work and stuff, to have your mentality cleared and make sure that you're on a positive note for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Then missing out on those things, sometimes I find that if I miss out on it, unless it's planned, then it makes me feel sluggish for the rest of the day, and it makes me feel lazy, and it's like, I've already kind of failed today because it didn't do what I wanted to do.
Start with a fucking win.
That's it, absolutely. Get it done.
What's his next point?
Last one, give back. So not all about reaping the rewards of your hard work and stuff like that. You gotta put something out there for other people to benefit from. So the guy's, you know, load of charity work and stuff. He's, you know, started up the Arnold's, which is, you know, another competition, not only for bodybuilding, but for strongman, for CrossFit,
which is awesome.
all these different things. So he's using his popular name and his big character to create another thing that isn't just for bodybuilders, something that other sports and other competitors and stuff may not have had a platform to show off. Yeah. But using his influence on that to give them a big stage for the rest of the world to see it. Yeah. And a lot of the times, you know, those Arnolds are, you know, sometimes they're bigger than the Olympias. You know, the Olympia can be, all right, who's going to win this time? Is it going to be Phil Heath, or is it going to be Kai Green, or whoever it is? There's only a couple of names. But you see all these other things, like the strongman's really impressive stuff that they're doing.
All deadlift 500 kilos.
Absolutely, yeah. All these amazing things that have happened during the Arnolds. You know what I mean? And it's, you know, the world's strongest man, yeah, UK's strongest man, America's strongest man, whatever. But it's the Arnolds that they all kind of look forward to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it must be.
There's even kettlebell sport at it as well.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I was considering like going to compete in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You better met him again.
I know. Here, do you know what though? Now that you say that, like the girl in goals, Jim, she was like genuinely one of the nicest people, most down to earth people you could ever come across. So even though he's achieved such great heights, like for everything that he's done, she said he'll stay here afterwards, he'll get a few photos, and then he'll go. But just like that was also a cue, you know, just let him
be,
do his thing.
Yeah.
He's very much a go-giver as well as a go-getter.
Mm-hmm.
Probably more, I would actually argue he's more of a go-giver, because I mean, I was 5 feet from him. When he was in the gym, every single person in the gym was lit up.
Yeah.
Every single person was just privileged to be in his presence. And I don't think that's just because he's a famous movie star. I think if he wasn't a famous movie star, if he was a dude who done well in bodybuilding, but was still rapping about Gold's Gym now, I think he would still have the same effect on people around him.
Yeah,
for sure. So I would say he's lived his life as a go-giver, and he's made every single person around him happier and better, and which has resulted in him being a go-getter.
Yeah, I mean, like he's talking as well. You know, even whenever he was younger, like not even before the Arnolds and stuff, like he was going around, you know, jails, and he was going around universities and stuff and helping the guys with their health and their fitness and stuff like that there. And especially with the jails, like I'm sure that was pretty grim at times.
Yeah.
For to put basically a celebrity in the kind of environment like that. Might have been a wee bit iffy, you know, not too sure how to go about doing this. But, you know, like he says that he used to do it once a month, every month, go around different places and stuff. And those guys are in a pretty shit situation being in jail and stuff. And to see someone like Arnold coming in and spending time with them, talking to them, like, you know, sometimes they can be, you know, victimized by society as, you know,
depending on where they came from, whatever,
just to be talked to as like people, and, you know, like to bring a wee bit of a different vibe.
I would guarantee that's changed a lot of those dudes.
Absolutely.
Like, probably females as well. I mean, God knows wherever he's visited, like, but it would definitely have changed their life.
Yeah.
Having maybe even a slight being in his company.
Yeah.
It would have changed mine.
Yeah. So what if we backtrack on these? We'll go through each one of them, and we'll give a point on what Arnold says and where we can give this to people who are listening now, because not everyone's going to be governor of California or be in my favorite movie, Jingle All the Way.
We're going to talk about our favorite Arnold film at the end,
right, okay.
or even favorite moments, because you have a few Arnold impressions in your lap. So yeah, will we go over this again?
Yeah. So I'll call them out, and you give like an answer basically to it. So
right, okay.
For something that someone who's listening or watching might want to take on board for themselves. Okay.
Okay.
So finding your vision.
Finding your vision. I would say that a lot of people don't actually focus on this. Here's a funny thing, right? I always knew that I was going to meet Arnold Schwarzenegger. Subconsciously, I always knew that I was going to meet him. It wasn't on the forefront of my mind. I didn't think about this all of the time.
Yeah.
But something deep down told me that I was going to
meet your hero.
Meet him at some stage. Like, I can't really explain this. And I think it's okay sometimes for people to say, like what we just said, you know what Arnie says, find your vision. It doesn't need to be at the forefront. I think it just needs to be like 95% of what we do is controlled subconsciously. So even if it is below the surface, as long as it's there, as long as the dream of what you want is there, you can make it happen. But I think this will cross over to some of the points. I think a lot of people like what we spoke about earlier, just in that environment where they just think, you know, too small.
Yeah.
My vision is too big. I'll never meet Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, who the fuck says? Like, in reality, who says what you can't do?
Yeah.
You're only limited as to what actually goes on in your mind.
Okay, so the next one then is don't think small. So if there is someone who's like, oh, there's no way I'm going to meet Arnold Schwarzenegger or whatever, no way I'm going to do that. How do you get someone to break past that and to start thinking big?
Fuck, I'm so glad you asked me this. Let the world reject you. Don't reject yourself.
Right? What do you mean by that?
A lot of people reject themselves before the world or anything else has a chance to reject them. And I found this in the past personally. They will, you know, let's bring it down to a lower level. Trying to get a new job, trying to get a higher rank within a company, trying to build a business relationship with someone, trying to ask a girl out.
Mm-hmm.
They will actually reject themselves. She wouldn't worry me, no way.
Mm-hmm.
They've rejected themselves before they actually let the person reject them, because who knows?
Yeah.
She may not necessarily, depending on your intent. Like, I should actually, I want to turn into a dating doctor. It depends on your intent, because if you set out, like, you know, just to have sex with a girl, that's what the intent is.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna face rejection. I can guarantee it, and it's not for the right reasons.
Yeah.
I always relate this a lot like sales. If you set out just to get the sale,
make money.
The intent is wrong.
Yeah.
It's you want to build a relationship. If you set out to build a relationship with this girl, I'm talking, you know, purely to males here, obviously, because I'm a male, then it's going to result in something far better. Either finding out that they probably weren't the person for you anyway, probably going off a bit track here, but probably weren't the right person for you anyway, or holy shit, we built a relationship here, she's not going to reject me. But if the intent is wrong and you've said it, right, fuck, I'm just going to have sex with this girl tonight, and that's the reason why you're being rejected, or why you're rejecting yourself before you've actually had the chance to do it. So if the intent is right, then things will happen for you. But just don't fucking reject yourself if the intent is right.
Yeah, just give it a go.
Just fucking give it a go.
Nice one. So, ignore the naysayers.
Ignore the naysayers. Holy shit. Like, I've come across a lot of this here on all of my social media platforms. The last one, like you say, we have a bit of fun about it. And what I would say is that hurt people hurt people. Quite often, what you generally find is that if people are online, we'll talk about online a bit. If people are online and they are dishing out abuse, like I actually had this one dude who gave me hell, and this was over, I can't even remember what it was. It was a video or something I put up. He told me to die, like literally everything. And I didn't actually respond. I just liked his comment. And then he responded again, and he said, dude, I'm so sorry for what I just said. I'm an idiot, blah, blah, blah. And I just said, it's all good, don't worry about it. Because I knew that this dude is hurting deep down. If he feels the need to go online or whatever platform, wherever it is, if he feels the need to actually do that, and there's a reason why, he probably has a low self-esteem, in which case then he has to take that aggressiveness out on someone else or something else. Yeah,
like an explosion almost to get rid of it.
To get rid of it. So that's his problem. It's not my problem. And I think that's exactly what Arnold means. Hurt people, and you can't let that distract you from your vision. You need to just carry on and just have that like tunnel vision to get the thing that you want, which Arnold did.
So it's that kind of thing. Like I remember whenever, you know, there's people coming in and out of the gym and stuff, and they're talking about, you know, taking a while before they actually made the step forward to joining the gym. I know I did. There was loads of times, as I said before, my dad said that you need to look after your health and stuff. And a lot of it is the kind of almost where people will kind of say, well, you can't do that. So, you know, you're heavy, so you can't go into the gym and stuff because that's for fit people to do. And then that's where you kind of get those kinds of feelings of, I'll tell you what, I'll lose a little bit of weight. When I lose a wee bit of weight, then I'll join a gym.
Yeah.
So maybe surprise, you join a gym and you start losing weight. You know what I mean? So first of all, people saying, no, you can't do that because that's not something that you do at the minute. But if you're ready to change and that's what you want to do, then you should just go and do it. Then next what they'll do is they'll say, well, how did you do it? Do you know what I mean? You become then, not saying that you become a poster boy, but you lead the way as someone who couldn't do something that they thought you couldn't do. Yeah. And you basically just flip them over, give them the finger and say, I'm going to do it anyway.
First they laugh and they follow.
Yeah, exactly. Because, when they see the change and stuff, then they'll be like, well, I was wrong and I don't like the fact that I was wrong. So actually, can you give me some advice on how to do that?
Yeah, it happens. It happens. Do you know what? Grant Cardone, don't know if anyone listens to his podcast on here. He's a bit crazy, but I like the dude. He just basically says you gotta accept a certain amount of haters with the more success you get, whatever field it is, whether it's in business, life in general, even in fitness. Like you say, I'm sure there's people that say, "Oh, that dude's heavy. He shouldn't be going to the gym," and all of a sudden, holy shit! Look at the weight he lost. But he's still an asshole. You gotta accept that. Yeah. If you're successful at something, you're gonna take some form of criticism, which is probably a good thing.
Yeah. So, work your ass off.
I always think about The Rock as well.
Oh yeah.
Whenever we should actually do an episode on The Rock too. I always think about The Rock, and he always talks about being the hardest worker in the room. Mm-hmm. I love that so much.
There's not much else that can be said about it. If you've the vision and you know where you want to go and stuff, like that's set in your mind. Now all you have to worry about is how. And the how is then doing all this work and doing the waking up at 4 a.m. to get your workouts done and making the time for things.
Here's the funny thing, and going back to what you talked about earlier, I actually think the how is the easy part.
Yeah.
I think the how is the easy part. I think for most people, the vision is the hard part. Mm-hmm. Once you have something, once it leaves a subconscious level to a conscious level, and you know the outcome that you're looking for, I think how you're going to get there then becomes easy. For most people, going back to what we were talking about earlier, I think all that stuff, it hasn't been brought to light as to what they actually want. But when they've realized what it is that they actually want, getting it is actually fucking easier than most people think.
Yeah. Yeah. Just have to actually go and do it.
Yeah. It's just like doing it. Just to bring from my own personal experience, today I own one of the most successful gyms in Belfast, 5,000 square foot facility. You work out, dude, absolutely fucking killing it. At one stage, I was like, how do I manifest this thing to actually come about from standing behind a bar serving punters? What got me from there to now? And it's like when I think about it, I didn't really. I had a vision in my head, which I spoke about in previous episodes. I looked across the road and I seen this facility, but there was a load of paths that had taken me away from that. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't necessarily clear, but once it was clear, getting it then became super easy. Okay, you look back and it was like, it was difficult work, mm-hmm. but actually bringing to light what I wanted the place to look like, telling my staff and the people who work with me and my team members what I want the place to be like, and outlaying your vision to people is much harder mm-hmm. than actually doing it.
Yeah. And it's all come together. Brilliant. So, last one, giving back.
I would say, be it charity work, be it in terms of what I was talking about, Arnie being a go-giver. Mm-hmm. I would say it's not, people will always remember not what you said or to them. They'll remember how you made them feel when they were in your company. So if people always feel good in your company, be it whatever it is that you're doing, maybe you're doing charity work, maybe you're making people who are in need feel better, or maybe it's just the people close to you. How you make them feel when they're in your company will say a lot about the legacy that you leave behind.
Yeah, absolutely. And like we do a lot of that in the gym, be it from small things like, you know, sending out a card to say you're doing a really good job, keep it up.
Yeah,
you know, when someone opens up an envelope, like it's rare that you get an envelope through the door that isn't looking for money.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So whenever you get something through that's personalised and handwritten, someone's taking the effort out to say you're doing a really good job, keep it up. Or member of the month, we've got a couple of challenges that run the gym, and then the boxing events that we've done in the past. You know, like that's, you know, like we were talking about earlier, making a relationship with somebody rather than just seeing them as a number.
Yeah, it's about how you make a person feel, and I think that's what right across the board, giving back. You know, be it monetary, whatever. I think it's important that you just focus all of it on how other people actually feel, rather than when it's internal and, you know, how can I feel better today?
Yeah.
And I think what happens is it has the universe has a tendency to come back at you and say, do you know what, like you've made all these people happy. There's you're happy. I'm a huge believer in that. Like,
that's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah.
So
favorite Arnie film? Yeah, dude. Well, I'm going to ask you yours first.
Right.
What was your favorite Arnie film?
It's going to sound like crap, but I absolutely love Kindergarten Cop.
Dude, amazing! Such a good film.
I love comedies and stuff, and like kids are like, without a doubt, apart from kids and like dogs, maybe they're the funniest thing on the planet.
I know what bit you're going to be on about, where he's asking what their parents do.
You know, as soon as the questions, and I want them answered immediately. Who is your daddy and what does he do? I love it. I love it so much.
Oh god, yes. So you kind of find out with the kids. So good. And the kid gives the dodgy answer, so then all of the rest of the kid says, my mom says my dad's a sex machine. Yes.
That's so funny. So funny. But there's action in there as well, so it's not completely just a comedy. It's so good. What about you? Go ahead.
This is going to seem like a weird one, right? I don't know if you've ever seen it, but a film called End of Days.
No, never seen it.
Holy shit, right? Now, it's oh god. Arnie fights the devil. Right, in End of Days, right? Now, the devil is played by Gabriel Byrne.
Right.
He scares the fuck out of me as an actor. For some reason, I don't know. He always seems to be in these, like, either heaven or hell type roles.
Yeah.
Or in Stigmata.
Right.
Remember Gabriel Byrne in Stigmata? Yeah. Great actor, by the way. Gabriel Byrne's an amazing actor. And he played like a priest who was trying to heal this girl in Stigmata, which was a freaky film.
Yeah.
But then Gabriel Byrne played the devil in End of Days. Mm-hmm. And basically what happened was the devil comes back to, I think it was based in the year 2000 actually.
It always is, it's in the future.
Yeah. So the devil plays, Gabriel Byrne plays the devil, and he comes back on the millennium.
Mm-hmm.
Every 1,000 years or something, the devil returns to the earth and takes over
America.
Yeah. But Arnie, first of all, is employed to protect the devil. He doesn't know.
Right.
He's employed to protect the devil, and priests are coming and trying to kill him and stuff. I actually think it was one of Arnie's better roles, and I don't know if it was because Gabriel Byrne was in it, who's an amazing actor, and I don't know if that's maybe brought the film up a couple of levels. Now, obviously, it's a bit of a cheese fest and stuff towards the end. Arnie had lost his family, and he at the end, I don't want to spoil it for anyone in case they haven't watched it, but he gets obviously he saves the day. We always know he saves the day, but I would definitely recommend that film. I mean,
you have to do an impression, like.
Dude, I can't do it. Well, what about that? If you're watching on YouTube, that's my Arnie impression right there. If you're watching it on YouTube.
He said, The rules to success, he says, it depends on the person.
Right.
If the person looks like they want the short answer, he says 22-inch biceps.
Yes.
Just remember that.
Yeah.
Just remember that.
Absolutely.
But if you're serious about it, then it's that list that we've just gone through.
Absolutely. Love it, man. Love it. Will we kill it here?
Yeah, absolutely. It was a good one. I enjoyed that.
Loved it. Arnold, please listen to this. We'll send it to you. Please listen. So if anyone who's listening to this knows Arnold Schwarzenegger, because I kind of know him now, but I don't have his email address, please send him this. He's a hero and forever will be.
Get it easy.
Okay, so listen, if you enjoyed this episode, which I'm sure you did, please share it with a friend. We'd much appreciate it, and give us a 5-star rating. Peace out.